at my dance studio.
I can see that. Wow.
Yeah.
How beautiful.
Can you see in the back? Can you see behind me?
I can.
Yeah.
I just love it.
And I have my dog. I'm Sugar here, and I just finished teaching. I just finished teaching a heels class.
You are incredible.
I'm the constant like, here's my leg, here's my leg.
I think you're incredible and just completely nonstop with energy. So I wanted to find out a bit about this. Like, how do you keep up and stay motivated in the dance world? This is like something you've done for so long, multitasking.
I mean, I've been dancing my whole life, and from the day that I started dancing, I loved it so much. And it was really, obviously I was so young, and it was just really about like, I loved learning all of the different styles and the craft. And I just always wanted to be like the best dancer, the best ballet dancer, the best, all the, jazz, which is still, a thing today. And later on, I started to become very inspired by musicals, which my brother, Stephen Antin, inspired me, for, to know about films and about burlesque people, out there that have created the movement from way back in the day. But I was someone who, my brother always says I came in all these years later and sort of reinvented burlesque and recreated it through the Pussycat Dolls, because I was so inspired by films like Sweet Charity, like Chicago, like all of the burlesque beauties from back in the day, and that's when my brother started writing, and he obviously wrote and directed and owns Burlesque, the film and the musical, and he and I think it really is something that I dancing for me has been obviously about staying in shape always.
I know your shape is so admirable. I definitely like your dancing for shape.
I mean, I don't walk around in my boots all the time. I love my Berger boots. Little shout out to you guys, because you guys give me boots all the time. But I don't walk around in them all the time. But I do teach a lot, and I love teaching. I love teaching dance. And I've never given it up. I have never stopped dancing my whole entire life. And I always say this to everyone, it's about, if you want to stay, if you want to be a dancer and not be one of those people that say, I used to dance, because there's a lot of teachers from back in the day, or even like, some dancers, not as much today, but every teacher dances. So it's not like teachers come in and just stand there and say 5, 6, 7, 8, this is what you do, and they don't do it. I am the kind of teacher, just like all of our playground teachers, that dance with everyone, and I get the best workout ever. I mean, there's really truly nothing like a dancer's body. Yeah, we're very flexible. It's so good for your, health. It's good for your mind, body, soul, everything. And it's also, we also offer classes for people that have never danced in their lives, and we're teaching them the vision and the style and the feeling of what burlesque is, and just that sexy everything about it. From it's very the class that I teach is very easy. It's just you step, hit, boom, cut. You know what I mean? Little tiny things that anyone, any person in the world could come in and never have a dance class in their life and leave knowing the choreography, because of the way that I teach and a lot of our beginner teachers teach, which we do here at Playground. And I just love watching the growth of all of the dancers. I love watching them grow into like these amazing dancers. All of our teachers may have started like they're great, but now they're like superstars. And it's what I did with the Pussycat Dolls, really. I started with them as amazing dancers, and then turn them into rock stars, really. And so it's the same kind of thing here. Our teachers are really truly like rock stars. And that is, that for me is what keeps me going as a dancer, because like if you look on my Instagram, it says, what do you do? And I instead of everything that I do, which is creative director and all the different things that I do and choreographer, I dancer first. I'm always dancer first because I'll just never stop dancing. And it's also about your brain and your body. It's about putting those two together, fitting them together. So you always are learning and you're always using your brain, as you work out, separate, different than work going on a treadmill or doing something else where, maybe you're running, you're not having to think as much. When you're in dance class, you have to learn the choreography. And so that's something that is, it's also important to me. It's my life. It's truly my life. I wake up every day. I'm like, okay, dance. Everything is, I got to get ready for dance class. I'm in a little jacket right now because I'm in my studio. We turn the air on and it's freezing in here.
Oh,
But it's, I know, but it's, I would show you around, but I have my, this is all propped up nicely. So, and my dog is right here. So I'll invite her over soon, but we should
well, you
also
have the
invite
dog at the studio.
the dog. Sugar is the matriarch of the studio. I mean, she is literally like, she's here every day. Everyone knows Sugar. Everyone comes in whenever. So we do our dance classes. We do whatever, hip hop, heels, everything, every style. As soon as the class is over, it's like I let her out. It's not a cage, but I let her out of the room, of the back room, and she comes running out, and she just gets so much love from everyone. It's so beautiful. It's like it's always such a beautiful experience for me because I love animals so much. I love animals. I love dogs. Dogs are like humans to me. And, if I see a dog on the street, I just will run across the street and hug them and kiss them. And but it's definitely something that I'm and a
I
big
love it.
advocate of dogs. but also cats. Pussycat
Of
dolls.
course.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, and that's why I created Playground, because I wanted to, it was sort of like, in a way, it was kind of like a cheeky little sneaky way of me being able to dance every day. And so I thought, well, instead of me going to other dance studios, I'm going to go to my own studio, and I'm going to be, and myself and my partner, Kenny Warmold, we opened up Playground LA, and so we have two now. I'm actually on one side, and right behind this wall behind me is another studio. Now we're doing the pink room, which is the pink Pussycat doll room. That's over there, that way. And then we have a dance studio in London, and it's amazing. We're starting to open more and more studios, and people know us all over the world, and they do know us as, the sort of I think sort of the heels that, we are one of the first studios who really created the heels movement. And I think that was also inspired and based around Pussycat Dolls. Not taking credit for all of that, but definitely taking credit for dancing in heels is so sexy. Dancing, doing that burlesque style. And my brother Steve will speak more on that. But, doing that style is so empowering. It's empowering for women and men and everyone, every gender, everyone. It's just, we love it because everyone is invited into whichever level, a beginner. I say beginners should come to the beginner, and then, the advanced dancers, because they dance so hard and so fast that a lot of the time the beginner they'll come in and say, oh, I'd rather be in the advanced. But if you just look on the Playground schedule, you can find out which class is best for you. I teach,
Amazing.
yeah, I like to teach an easier class because I like to see the growth, like I said, you know what I mean? It's something for me. And working together with my brother all these years as well. I mean, he knows every part of me. He helped me actually with the name Pussycat Dolls, and he's inspired me so much. with everything burlesque. And maybe we should invite him on.
Maybe we should. Is he coming? What a surprise.
Okay, let's see.
One we prepared earlier.
Yeah, I told him, I said, go on, so it'll just, yeah, it'll just, I guess.
I'll look for him. I'm just looking to see if
Okay.
he's here. Stephen, are you joining us, Stephen? I can't see him just yet. Yes, I'm inviting him. Let's see. La Vida Mystique. Anyone who's watching us, pop a yes or a hello in the chat. Where are you watching in from? We are like seeing people from Italy here, Robin. We're seeing people from London, Hull. Guys, we're teaching online with Rob and Anton on the 22nd of September. It's going to be a wonderful experience learning the, you know, burlesque basics. Anyone can attend this class, and it's online, so worldwide. We will have the honor of you on Zoom with us. The link is just here in the comments. I've pinned the link. So if you want to learn with us, please do join. And what an honor to have you. Honestly, Robin, I hope Stephen will join. I've invited him.
I hope so. Yeah, we were talking all morning. I think that maybe he's trying to, he might have bad service, or at some point he'll jump on, but
he'll jump on. So also I wanted to know, like, with, you know, what you're going to teach with us online. I'm doing a little glove peel masterclass after you when we do this, which is a big honor for me. And tell me, do you think anyone can do this, even if you're at home, from the comfort of your own home, on carpet, on tiles?
Absolutely.
Learn with you?
100% you can do it, because all it takes is just any surface, anywhere that you are, you can do it in the street. I mean, and the way, again, that I teach, it's so simple, and I keep going back. So I'll do like like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we got that. Let's back it up, and then let's do it again and again and again until you finally get those 4 counts. Then I add on another 4 counts. Okay, we do that until everyone has every single, count of that second 4. And that now there's 8 counts. So now we go back to the beginning. And that's not going to happen right away, because I want to make sure that everyone has it, and there's going to be questions. Does this? Oh, there he is.
Hi.
Hey, Stephen.
Hi. Hi.
The author, director, creator of Burlesque, and my inspiration in so many ways. And I mean,
Oh, you have it.
I was there.
You're lucky.
I
Yeah,
love
you were
that.
here.
I recognize you because from your posts, I've seen you on your posts.
That's right. I know I recognize you, funnily enough. But thank you, Stephen. You've been a big inspiration to the scene. And I really wanted to, on my other initiative, World Burlesque Day, acknowledge Burlesque the movie, because the songs, particularly Christina Aguilera, but a lot of them, they've truly, truly united our community and are still strong to this day. So thank you from me and the whole community. People do this little heart.
Oh, that's so nice.
And the heart.
Thank you for having me.
No. They pop.
I have a cough drop. I had to spit it out.
Okay, go spit out your cough drop.
I don't know about this lighting. Is this lighting working? I'm like, your lighting
is incredible to me that you're, such a duo from the same family, and that's incredible. It's just must be a very rewarding thing working together, right?
It is, and it's something we've been working together. I mean, in a way, since we were kids. Like when we were kids, my parents had this room, and well, we had a garage, this big garage, and we would go into it, and I would do acting scenes for Robin, and she would be like, "Oh my God, you're such a good actor," and I was terrible, but I would do scenes from movies, and Robin would do dance.
He's in a lot of movies he's in the Goonies, which that's worldwide. I know.
That's another life. But
yeah,
I was I had a whole career as an actor, but and then another lifetime. And then Robin would be doing dance stuff, and then we moved into another house. We lived in a house in Beverly Hills, and remember, Robin, that room had mirrors all on one wall, and we would do dance class in there, and Robin would be the teacher, and we would literally put on like leg warmers. We would get in dance clothes, and Robin would be the instructor, and she would do the choreography, and we'd go through. We would put on the music from Fame. Remember, Rob?
Yep.
And we would like do all the stuff like the warm ups, and Robin would take me through the warm ups, and then she would choreograph something, and we would do it together.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
Because Steve always loved dance so much, and even though he didn't go to dance class every day and learn like the foundation of he wasn't in ballet class
I
and all the
tried. I
time.
was in dance. I was in dance
Well,
a lot. I was just terrible.
like you were terrible. Just kidding. But no,
Terrible.
I would bring it home to show him, and then he was actually good at home. But he was the actor, and he was the writer, and I was the dancer, and my whole family's very creative. My parent, we do get it all from our parents.
We
So,
definitely
and our
do.
mom,
Do.
and we're half.
And the early Pussycat Dolls, Days of the Pussycat Dolls, I was that's when I was took on more of a role of, writer director, because I was shooting everything they did almost, and I was writing the show. So when Robin wanted to turn the show into more of a like a real show that was at the Roxy Theater on Sunset Strip,
Wow.
I wrote a whole narrative for it, and it was very loose, but it really paved the way for Burlesque the movie and Burlesque the musical, like in such a big way. When you look back at that show, you can really see the connective
And he
tissue.
would
Yeah.
connect the dots to whoever was if you were say Charlize Theron. So she actually was a dancer, and a lot of people didn't know that, but like say if she were MC, then he would create a role around her that made sense with say,
Becky.
films that she had done, or like Scarlett Johansson or Eva Longoria, Paris Hilton, everyone. I
Wow.
mean, the list goes on. Gwen Steffani, and so if you were just a singer, just a dancer, or you didn't do either, then we created roles for that specific artist, and it was really great, and it's something that was timeless, that we could literally do that show today.
Rob, Becky Burgoon is watching. I
Hi,
just saw her
Becky.
pop up. Hi,
Aw,
Becky.
Hi,
She's a
Becky.
she's a really, really good, very close
I'm
old
seeing a lot of
family
my
member.
friends come on here, so
Stephen, I
I
just
am.
wanted to flash up a bit of nostalgia because I got invited to the preview, upside down, of Burlesque in Melbourne, the preview at the Melbourne Cinema. Now I'm living in London, but isn't that absolutely wild? And I
Oh
lost this
my
piece of
God,
paper.
yes. And I
And it's
have that
crazy.
poster. I have that poster. Look, I have the original poster, right? Can you see it?
Oh,
Right under Marilyn Monroe,
Yes.
wow,
right
that's
here in my in
insane.
my in my den. That's Marilyn Monroe. That's Marilyn Monroe. And there's our beautiful mom.
Yeah.
Oh,
Our mother, who's now not been with us for 3 years, which is really hard
mm,
for us. But
yeah.
Yeah.
she was from Highgate. She
She was
was
from Highgate, not far from me.
Yeah.
I'm literally in Holloway, very close to Finsbury Park. But I'm in London as an Australian because there's just so much more inspiration, and that's where I stumbled upon burlesque. And would you agree, both of you, even though you don't dance it, it's a particularly empowering art form. It's why the film has had such longevity. There's something magical with the feathers, the fans, more possibly than other things. I don't know. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely in a big way. And it's fantasy, I think for so many
Mm.
people, also for women and
yeah.
for men. But I think women, when Robin, and I were doing, like when Robin was doing the early Pussycat Dolls, and it started off as more of like kind of a go-go group, Rob, remember? And then it sort of
Yeah.
morphed into more of a burlesque thing. It was always burlesque, but it had
It,
more of a go-go vibe.
it was a fusion of many
Yeah.
different, like the songs I did a chair dance, hot, sexy chair dance to Whole Lotta Love, Led Zeppelin, to a punk rock song, and all of these songs were inspired by my brother, because my brother Steve, who went to every single concert you can think of back in the day, he'd come home and be like, oh my God, like I just saw, like the Rocky
David
Horror
Bowie.
Show.
I would
Or,
see David Bowie, and I would say like, "Oh
yeah.
my God, we got to do this, we got to do that," or
And,
I
and,
saw
and,
the
and,
Rocky
and it
Horror
just,
Show.
yeah, when he saw the Rocky Horror Show, he saw it at the Roxy, and Tim Curry was playing for trumpet
Actually, it was
player.
Paul Jabara was playing
Oh,
the Sweet
was he
Transvestite when I
then?
saw him.
Okay. I always think
Yeah,
of Tim Curry. But anyway, he was telling me how he was walking through the audience and like, like would sit on somebody like on their lap and play with their hair and tease them and just be very playful. And so that really inspired me with Christina Aguilera when she performed with us at the Roxy. I was like, okay, you're going to start from the back. You're going to walk through the audience and you're going to, you're going to sit on someone's lap and you're going to play with their hair. And you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And I mean, she was so amazing because she was like, I'll do anything you want. And that's when the love affair started between Stephen and Christina.
Wow.
And
we definitely had a
yeah,
love affair.
but
But about to answer your question also, like that when Robin was doing the show back then at the Roxy, but at the Viper Room, the people, it was fascinating to watch it happen, but literally after every show there would be somebody there that was known, famous, that saw the show and would be like waiting at trying to get in backstage to say, I want to meet Robin, I want to talk to somebody here about what was always Robin, about being in the show. Could I be in the show? Because they knew that Robin had this revolving door. She would have different people come in and sort of like guest. And the reason is because of exactly what you said. They would, women and men too, but would see the girls in the show and the women in the show in these fabulous burlesque scenarios, and they'd say, I want to do that. Like, I want to feel like that. I want to feel empowered. I want to be in that costume. I want to sing that song, because the way Robin had been doing it was reinventing burlesque, and it was reinventing and becoming. Robin really brought back and created the neo burlesque movement in Los Angeles, and I know a lot of people want to take credit for doing that. Robin did it first. She's the one that brought it back and turned it into neo burlesque and did something different and
well,
fresh that everybody wanted to be a part of, and gave it a new modern approach and a new
yeah.
look and a new face.
And
That is
also, I think, thank you,
amazing.
Steve. I appreciate you saying that so much. But I
Oh,
also, my grandfather was a beautiful, amazing British tailor, and taught me how to sew when I was really young. And so I made all the costumes. Actually, had met Christina Applegate through Steve, because Steve and Christina had done a TV show together. I met Christina Applegate in a dance class. I ended up living with her in her big John mansion, and there I am, just a dancer, like coming from the valley, and I ended up in having this. Thank you to Christina, who's still we call each other roomie, still to this day, because that's what we'll always be. But I
hey,
built a room.
PJ.
I built a room in her in her back house, and I made all the costumes. And I had and then I painted the whole room red, and I had feather boas everywhere. And I ended up, and it was just me and a couple of girls, and we were the Pussycat Dolls. This is 30 years ago. It's a long
Wow.
time ago. This is way before the band. And it was just really like something that and I remember like my mom and my dad sort of saying like, well, what is this going to turn into? What's next? And for me, it was like, I just wanted it to be the best show ever. The next show and the next show and the next show, and then I would see like Gwen Steffani sitting in the audience, and I would just sort of like jump off the stage before the curtain closed, and I would grab her and be like, "Do you want to be on the show?" And she's like, I could never do that, and I'm like, but you're a rock star. You're Gwen Steffani, and the next thing there's me and there's this one of the Pussycat Dolls from the show back then, and who ended up being in the group, Carmit. She was friends with her, and she was the one that brought her, and so we ended up rehearsing with her, and then also Gwen introduced me to Jimmy Iovine at Interscope, and he's really the one that paved the way for it to go from being a just a show at the Viper Room at the Roxy to a recording group that was worldwide, you know, a phenomenon that took over. But to this day, it's still the Pussycat Dolls name really, I think, just means more, so much more than what it's almost become, you know.
And it's the Pussycat Dolls name has become synonymous with burlesque, you know, in so many ways
Yes.
because the Pussycat Dolls were born out of the burlesque show, and veered away from it with like Don't Show, became more of a pop group, but ultimately Robin brought it full circle
Yeah.
with with videos and costumes and design like buttons, you know, and brought it full circle, and it was sort of, you know, introduced back into the mix and back into the band. But originally, you know, or not originally, when the record company got involved, they really wanted a very commercial pop group. So the
Yeah.
burlesque of it all took a little bit of a back seat, but the wonderful thing is that it came full circle, and then I really brought it back in the movie Burlesque, and now on stage. And the stage show is really, it's something that we're talking about all the time, is like, and I think you mentioned it too in one of your posts, like how you did or somebody else did, how can you bring more burlesque into the experience, like the real burlesque? So it is something that I wanted to do, and I wanted to do from the beginning, and it, not enough of it made its way into the show, and it is so now, because really we've been in previews in Manchester, we're going into previews back in Glasgow, we're still in previews in Manchester, but when we come to the West End, which we're going to, um, that's the world premiere of the show. Right now, we're just in previews and tryouts. So, with that in mind, there's a reimagination of what everybody's seen, and it's the same show, but there's so much more way to, like, fasten your seatbelts, real burlesque in the show, and a linear thread of burlesque in the show to satisfy everybody's appetite for that, but also my appetite for it and Robin, because we want to, you know, because the club is a modern club in downtown New York City, in an underground building in downtown New York City, but so it needs to have a modern element to it, but it also has to have that neo burlesque vibe, because that's from where it's born.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just love
Yeah.
it.
And
You can do no wrong in my book. And I wanted to also ask, Tess' character is actually a little inspired by you running around with a glue gun and rhinestoning everything, right, Robin?
I mean,
I have
so
I have a
much
glue gun
so
right
that,
here.
and people don't, I don't know how many people know that, but not a little inspired by Robin.
Totally.
Tess is Robin. You
Oh.
know, I mean, Robin inspired Tess in such a big way, and we had it even more in the script, so much more. And you know, we can only do so much on stage, but it's really funny because when we were in when we were in rehearsals, it's hilarious. Like one, like we were doing Sugar Daddy Diet, and we were doing just the rehearsals for Sugar Daddy Diet, and we were just like, well, we were actually going to do a presentation of just the first act, and they had these purses that the girls were going to carry in it, and we
I'm
didn't
out.
have full costumes yet. And Robin was like, I'm not it. Those purses have got to be blinged. And they were like, oh, we don't have time for the bling. We don't have the money. Robin was like, I got it.
I was
I
like,
got you.
stop
So
everything.
literally, wait,
Give me those
cut to
handbags.
Robin during rehearsals in the rehearsal room, because she's also associate choreographer in the rehearsal room with these big glasses on. She had a table set up, glue gun, all the purses out, and she glue gunned rhinestones onto every person. They were like, they're gonna come off, and Ron was like, they're not coming off.
Yes.
I've done this a million times. And you know what? They didn't, and they were wall to wall rhinestoned. And but I laughed, and I said to Adam at one point, I didn't even realize she was doing that. I was like, Robin, back with the glue gun like she was 25 years ago. All I used to see is there was like a needle and thread or on the sewing machine, glue gun. And then, by the way, on stage with the girls in the costumes and sewing everyone's costumes backstage, fixing everyone's hair. Robin was like, and by the way, then schlepping all this stuff to her car after her. She
and
was schlepping,
making everyone carry, like, you carry
carrying
the ballet
stuff.
bar, you carry this, you carry all the
All
costumes,
the
everyone's
girls,
put
like, back then
It
it
was
was down and dirty
it was
grassroots.
chaos. It
It
was
was chaos,
chaos.
but it was great because and
Yeah.
everyone was doing that back
Well, it
then.
was
That's what
organized chaos. You know, I
yeah.
knew
Yeah.
exactly what I wanted. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I would always go to Steve and say, "What do you think of this? What do you think of that?" Steve was writing, like he said, the linear thread through the show that really made it so special. And really, the reason why Interscope Records, after all those years, started hearing about this show that was like, you know, like no other show that they'd really ever seen, that no one had ever seen a show like that that wasn't actually considered a musical. So
And you know, also like the line that I wrote for the Pussycat Dolls was inside every woman lives a pussycat doll. And Christina Applegate said it in every show and everybody loved it. All the women loved it. So I actually took that line because it's my line. Robin was like, ah. I was like, I wrote it and I used it in burlesque. Inside everyone is a little burlesque,
and we
which is
did
we
change
use
it in from Pussycat Dolls inside every gender is a Pussycat Doll because you
yeah,
know
yeah.
it's so nice to see
Inside
these
every person.
yeah these
It's
men.
true.
You know, I love it when they come into a playground and they're wearing heels and they're
Oh, did we lose sound?
Yeah, we lost your sound, Rob.
Audio. Oh, you're
Yeah,
back.
now we hear you.
um
But yeah,
but
yeah, we did. By the way, we did that. I don't know if I said inside everyone, but in on burlesque, it's inside everyone is a little burlesque, and I think it's like the at the heart of that, it's so true because there's a freedom of expression that you pointed out in burlesque, and also you know from and I don't want to go into a whole history of burlesque lesson because I could bore everybody to tears
yeah,
with
but
it, but from
it's
the you know
important for everyone to know.
well, it's important that burlesque is born out of you know not what people think. You know that it was the burlesque is the name burlesque is burl, meaning the light, the wood, burl wood that is really light that you can hit people with in comedy shows because it wouldn't
Slapstick.
hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Slapstick, exactly. Esque is a suffix meaning like. So really, if you break down the word, it's like like burlwood because they would use it in the early burlesque shows because burlesque was about comedy, and I'm talking like you know. And like in France in 1700s, late 1700s, 1800s, all through the 1900s, like that's really what burlesque was born out of. And burlesque was because became came to the United States because vaudeville performers were really expensive, so they would do a lesser version of it, burlesque shows, and they were all comedy, they were political satire, and then in every burlesque show, in the big burlesque shows, they would have that big number that would happen in the second act that was like sexy girls and got
Yeah.
girls, but a few guys, but it would be girls, sexy girls then were like skirts down to their ankles. All they did was like they weren't wearing black tights. They would be wearing nude colored tights and show their from their like calves
I
down to their ankles.
know.
And that was absolutely
Yeah.
outrageous. And they would a lot of pretty girls on stage and they would do some sexy number. And then of course they got sexier and sexier and the comedy and the parody and political satire got less and less and the shows grew to be more about you know provocative
And
moments and
also,
things like that.
and also the stockings, which was so interesting, way back then was like they couldn't get elastic, so that's why they had to wear the garter. They had to create the garter
Artists,
belts to hold up the
exactly.
stockings because they couldn't get up that they couldn't have elastic. And for me, when I made all the costumes, I was like, I wanted to have the garter belts, and I wanted to have garter belts hanging a lot of the time now, like even you know like just anytime I'm doing anything that has to do with burlesque, they put the garter belts under the costume, and I say, no, no, no. I want the garter belts over the costume. I took the corsets, I turned them around, I put the corseting up the front. No one had ever done that, and everyone was like, I mean, you know, all the costume designers that I've worked with were like, wait, that's not how you do it. And I said, exactly. That's why I'm doing it because I'm doing it the
Jade
way
is here. Hi, Jade. Oh my God, Jade's about to have a beautiful baby. Jade Albertson
Aww.
is in Burlesque the
Yeah,
musical, and
Jade is so sweet.
Jade is
Beautiful.
having a burlesque baby.
Yeah.
Literally,
Literally,
Jade
that
was
is
Yeah.
incredible.
Jade was
Yeah.
pregnant on stage and like was killing it and like was
Dancing. Like,
really by the end of the show, by the end of the Manchester run, Jade was really showing on stage, and it was so beautiful and like inspired. Like, and by the way, it's like art imitating life, life imitating art, because we had a character in the movie that got pregnant, Georgia, and but you know the storyline with Jade is different, of course, and Jade's coming back to the show, which we miss her so
can we
much because she was so
can we talk
amazing.
about Todrick as well while we're still here?
Yes, Todrick Hall. Todrick is the Todrick floats above the ground I worship.
If you guys, everyone in the world, you know Todrick from all of his amazing songs, but if you knew how talented this man is, it's absolutely incredible. And the way that that Steven and Todrick have worked together, it's outrageous. It's like nothing I've ever seen. Their brains are on another level, and that's also reinventing burlesque onto
I
another
just
level.
posted I just posted a screenshot of our, because every time I talk to I talk to Todrick pretty much every single day. But I said this was a 2 hour and 42 minute mind phone call. By the way, we've had 3 and 4 hour phone calls where we just talk, and
He
like we
is
take mind
funny.
walks. We just talk about everything, but it's a lot of it is creative, and sometimes it's just mind walks. And he is like a, I mean, he is so singular, his talent. I have never worked with anybody like him in
Yeah.
my life. And I have to say that, like, it's that same sort of inspiration that I've gotten from Christina. You know, working with Christina is otherworldly. You know,
Yeah.
doing something with Christina, it's like I walk into the room and I'm just like, it's an inexplicable experience. It's this rush of like, I know that I'm in the presence of greatness, and that I'm going to get something like that's going to totally inspire me, and I'm going to get real truth and honesty from her, and like, that's good, that's not, this I love, I'm not sure about that, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
But you know that you're talking to somebody who has like one of the greatest talents in the world, you
Yeah.
know, if not like the greatest voice of the last, century. Like, this is a woman who's so spectacular on so many levels, and such an inspiration, and the best at what she does. And there's something that is, if like, I'm just like, I'm pinch myself, and I'm like, I say to myself constantly, what did I do to deserve Christina Aguilera in my life? And I feel similar about Todrick. Like, what did I do to deserve Todrick Hall in my life? Because I get that I'm talking to artists, it's not just talent, it's artists, and the inspiration and the collaboration that I get from them and it's my sister and I, Robin and I, have a similar thing, but I hope that everybody gets to experience that at some point in their life, because it is an otherworldly experience, and it really what drives me. It's what gives me my hope for humanity. It's weird. It's like, wow, I have this like connection with people, and that's what our lives end up being about, I
Well,
think.
that's also what we've been doing here in LA. We we do so much that is always so different and always so next level, and even playground. Our studio is like no other dance studio in the world. And I'm being like honest that it's so different because it's almost like a clubhouse. People come, our dancers and our teachers come here and they hang out here. Our heels teachers, I teach Pussycat dolls classes here. All our hip hop classes. We have grooves for that. It's just the dance moves without choreography, so you can come and just get a great workout and sweat. But what's great is you can hang out here. We have people all over Melrose looking in the window to know what is it. Oh my God, there's the play letters.
It's
And
amazing when I drive by, because I live close by, that we all do, and I drive by and I'm like, there's a line down the block again. I literally do a loop and I go into the alley and I pull in. I'm like going to the back room because I most of the time Robin's going to be there. I'm like, so many people here, and we have like a moment in the what do you call that room, Robin? It's sort of like the
Sort of our, I mean, we kind of call it our lounge or our backstage
lounge
area.
office, and everybody's hanging
Um,
out, and all the dancers from the show come in and
Well,
out
we have a
from the Hulu
and we also have a
show.
reality show that you can watch on Hulu that's streaming right now called Playground. I don't know if you can get it in Europe yet, but somehow you should try to find it because you really can find out what it's like, to be in the dance world, to be a dancer, to be, the hottest, sexiest dancers, to be the most badass hip hop dancers, and that's something that like Steve has just from that has learned so much. Like, wow, this is you are we are athletes. I mean, I think of myself as an athlete because I dance every single day and I never ever
Oh
quit.
wait,
And I think
let me just say one thing to Jade before she goes. Jade, post that video, that gorgeous video. Post that video again of you dancing where we can see your baby bump because it's so beautiful.
I
Jade
love
is like
it.
Jade is like she is
But
everything. By the way, you got to
what I,
see
what
her
I was gonna
on stage dancing.
what I was going to say about doing what we're doing here is that we're constantly sort of upping our game and making things keeping it's sort of like buying a house and gutting it but keeping the bones. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so and that's what we're doing with everything that I'm doing here at Playground, that I'm doing with Pussycat Dolls, that I'm doing with Burlesque with Steve. And when we go to places like the West End or Broadway or whatever, and they sort of say, well, this is how we do it. We say, but this is a new way, and this is how we do it. And so we're lucky enough to be able to, it's hard to go in and say, no, we're not doing it that way at all, because there's a lot of roads you have to take to be able to change things, because they have to change. They can't stay the same forever. You have to change it. Burlesque has changed. All different styles have changed. Dances have gotten better. Any job that you have, you get better and better and better if you're really passionate about it. And that's how we are. We're so passionate, and that we got that from our mom, Brenda. And my dad just left. My dad is building this. He built this studio along with a few other of our incredible employees. And my dad's going to be 89, and he's so talented, an amazing artist. And we're just lucky to come from such an incredible family. Our brother Jonathan is an amazing hairstylist. Jonathan had a show called Blowout on Bravo that he is crazy on, but it was amazing. It ran for
Crazy.
many seasons.
Wow.
Our brother Neil is really talented and helped build our studios. And we come from a really great family that's full of we're so devoted to what we do, but we also support each other so much, but we also support everyone else in the community. And
Yeah.
this is all about, and doing this with you, and doing this for, I would love to be in Ibiza. If you want to fly me to Ibiza, my bags are packed. So,
I want to come to Ibiza too, but I'm not coming because I
oh,
got. By the way, I got too much work to do, and I got to go back to work. Believe it or
All
not.
right.
Like in
Sorry.
like
Well, I just wanted to say the way you feel about being in the presence of Christina and Todrick, I think that the world feels that about what you've created
oh,
together, because I think there is a
oh,
palpable connection
I
that's
love it.
made it a cult classic, and it will be in our cultural landscape for the end of time, and I really am very proud of all of
oh,
you, because I know that magical feeling, and I think
yeah.
they say when love combines with skill, expect a masterpiece. Have you ever heard that saying? And I think it's true.
Beautiful.
There's an element of that true love, and it emanates in things that are in our society from centuries ago. And thank you for
I
what you've
love.
created.
I love that you said that. That's so nice and so kind and generous. And I just want to say that, like, I'm trying to be better. I'm always trying to be better. I promise that I'm trying to be better. Like, I never stop trying to be better in
He's
everything that
just
I
so
do.
talented that
But
he's crazy talented. Like,
But when it comes to this show, it's like it's always got to be better. Like every
yeah,
day, I say everything can be better. I can be better. Everyone involved in anything in any show can be better. And it's like training
Sugar
and
is the
working
best. I
and
don't know if she
never.
can.
But you know, like it's like Todrick and I just had this conversation earlier. You know, we are so, like he said, you know, it's and we can and yes, you know, it's sort of that rule of improv. Like if someone comes to you with an idea or comes to us or we have an idea, we always want to hear, yeah, and we can do this, not become an obstacle to it, because that's how things get better. And my love, you know that. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, you were constantly faced with obstacles in life, and it's like, how do I navigate my way around them, and how do I constantly elevate and make everything better? And if that's your goal, then things get, you know, that's where magic comes from. You
And
know,
also like what Steve did with Burlesque, you know, it's out there obviously because it's out there as a show, but Burlesque is big. And what Steve and Todrick did, Steve, I don't know if you want to talk about that and sort of like the B and the U and the R and the sort of like, to me, that was just one of the most creative things I've ever seen anyone do.
yeah, it's going to be really, I think it's going to be so much more articulated and really going to come full circle and everything that it wants to be when we get to the West End. But Todrick wrote something, I mean, big. The big song "Big" is so brilliant, and Todrick is actually spelling out the word, the letters from the word from burlesque in his lyrics, and you kind of don't even get it until, like, I listened to the song once and I was like, oh my god, I died when I first heard it. I was blown away.
Crazy.
And the second time I listened to it, I literally, I was listening to it on my computer. He just sent it to me. I hit pause. I went, he's spelling out
And
burlesque.
and every letter and
Burlesque
every word,
is big. You know, I
it
mean, like, it starts with that. It goes Burlesque.
Clever.
And it's,
like,
yeah, it
yeah,
just,
like what each letter and each word means, and it all works with the meaning of burlesque, not just like
even
random
down
words.
to like Q the wig, R is for, like, you know, I mean, it's like, it's just, it is a perfect, it is, and by the way, the rhyme in it is so
So good.
brilliant and so smart. And it's really something that when people listen to the song, really listen to that, because, but it'll be articulated for, it is articulated somewhat on stage right now, but it'll be far more articulated. You'll see the letters, they'll come out at you on the LED, they'll go back, so you'll understand the brilliance of the song.
Love it.
And I think that people are going to want to sing that part of the song
Yeah,
more and more and more as they understand, you know, what it's, how it's being spelled out, you
yeah,
know, and how smart and how clever the lyrics
yeah.
are. I hope that everybody gets to, you know, embrace that at
And
some point. And
experience that,
yeah,
you know,
and
that
just
new
understand
burlesque.
exactly, you know, I'm gonna read it. Hold on, I'm just pulling it up. I'm gonna read it to you guys because it's so good. It's like,
This is a great moment that Steve's going to read this to you. Honestly,
well,
you're
I don't know
getting
about a great moment, but it's a
wow.
I'm
great.
holding my breath. If I go blue, you know why.
Okay. I'm looking right now for,
Okay.
oh, music, and it's under Todrick Hall because I have a special file for Todrick, and oh, big lyrics. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so good. So he goes like this. I'm not going to sing it for you. I'm just going to
Please
say it to you.
sing it. I'll dance it.
No. Okay, I'll
Whisper it.
sing it a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
Wait, I gotta take this name is at the top of my screen. It's driving me crazy. Okay.
um,
Go away. Oh my God. Okay.
what is that, Rob?
It's people texting me and I'm like, and then it just stays there at the top.
Oh,
And it's really annoying.
yeah. I just had a bit of that, but it was disappearing. And I was like, I need to disable that for when I'm doing Instagram Live.
Yeah, I know. I forgot to do that. Sorry.
I don't know why it's not coming up. Anyway, I promised to read it, but
Oh,
Oh my
oh,
God.
I
Gwen, you're gonna have to
know.
no, you can't like just leave us
I
hanging. You're
no,
gonna have to come back
I'm
and
going
know.
to. I'm going
stay.
to. Hold on.
And when I teach the Zoom, Steve will be
No,
here.
no, 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 no. I've got it right here. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Hey, I'm
I'm
gonna
Yeah,
saying
bring
both.
please
up.
come on the day we do the
Yeah.
Zoom class too.
He may not. I don't think he'll be in heels.
Oh,
But
please wear the heels.
I'm gonna bring up the new script, which is a big, or the revised script, which is a big
you're the
secret. I'm not allowed
first
to
to
like.
hear it.
I'm not allowed.
Woo!
Just. I'm not allowed to share it with anyone.
Except for the now the world.
Exactly.
But it's that.
Okay.
It's so good. Oh my God.
Here it is.
Steve will come over
Oh
and
my
sing
God. Here it
down.
is. Okay. Burlesque is big. That's the B. Unapologetic. U. Ready, come and get it. R. Look, you won't regret it. L. Easy on the eyes. E. Sexy for the guys. Gals and otherwise. Q the wig. Q. Under every feather. U. Lace is even better. E. Lace is even better. E. Grab a swig. Where the best of the breast is. Pop quiz. That's what burlesque is. So when you really listen to the lyrics, you're like, he actually figured out how to spell burlesque out within the body of those lyrics. It's just, it's so smart. It's great.
It's so,
Clever.
so
I
great.
didn't get that when I was
I
listening to the
know.
song. I was singing along,
I
not
know.
knowing it was spelled
I
out.
know. By the way,
It's
I
so
got to tell you,
catchy.
I didn't get it from the first time I heard the song until I had to listen to it again, and I stopped. I went, and there were a few other people who said to me, I pointed it out, and they were like, "Oh my God, I didn't get that." But we're going to make a meal out of that for the audience, so the
Yeah.
audience really experiences it and sees it, because it's so much fun and it's so good.
Yeah, I love that.
So fun. It's such a, and back to even the, so just, the early days of the Pussycat Dolls and early days of what we were doing on stage that we didn't know what it was going to turn into. We did a lot of cover songs, like I was saying, but Steve was so great with intertwining the music and the with the vocals, music. I was there with this woman who was creating like a tango that I did with all girls,
Hmm.
and it was so good. And I would say, like, I wanted to go like ba-da, king king shoot cat cat, and then she would make it exactly how I wanted it. And so I came up with this song that I am not a musician, but I know what I want in my mind, and I'm so clear
Rob,
about it.
we
You know
have
what
to
I mean?
put that song in the show, by
That
the way.
song.
I'm
I'll just have to
not
go into
kidding.
the.
You own that song. Like, we
I
need to
know.
put that song in the show.
I
Can we
know. I
please
can
use
do
that
that. I
song in the
can.
show? Will you give us the rights to that song?
Yes, I can do it in 2 seconds. I can create it with any producer and just it and it's because I know what it
No, I
is.
have it on tape from the show. I have it.
Oh yeah, we can just do it. Then we just use that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine.
I
I
have it.
love
I
It's
actually,
yours. I know.
that.
I actually
We're
wrote a
witnessing the
song.
show being invented on our Instagram live.
Yeah,
This is very cool.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know. I'm
yeah.
sorry. Like, I know you have more questions, and we're just like, you know what the
No,
problem with
I'm
Robin and I, when
just
we get
I
enjoying
together,
it.
we
know.
don't
Just
shut
keep
We
up.
can
going.
go on and on and on.
What I did want to congratulate the What Are Clothes song. I thought that was very smart, very clever,
Todrick,
ingenious.
Todrick,
And
Todrick.
Todrick as well. Oh my
Yes,
God,
by the way,
so
and can I
good.
just also listen? There's when Todrick first wrote the song, and it's really great in the show, but he wrote the song. It's so brilliant. It was actually it was a part of the Tess Vince argument. And when he first comes into the club and he says, I need money, What Are Clothes was happening. And it was happening sort of as a sideshow. And they would break and she would do, What are clothes? And he started saying, Tess, tell me what you want to do, while she was saying, What? And they were saying it at the same time. And then he started to sing, and Tess started to sing back to him. So it became more of like a traditional classic sort of musical moment where the action on stage is intersecting with a performance on a club within a club performance on stage. And it was so spectacular, and he actually had them saying lines from the song that seemed organic, and she would say the lines, sing the lines of the song, and then stop, and he would pick it up and Tess would pick it up. It was so beautifully, it was such a beautiful marriage of like a scene and a song.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we got a lot of pushback from it and during the process, and we wanted it in the show that way. And it will at some point go back into the show that way. But it's really, really, really clever, and it's so well done. But the problem at the time is that it was a little bit outside of the box because we weren't really doing that much in the show. So it was created a new sort of language for the show.
Mm-hmm.
But we said, but it's burlesque. We can have any language. That's what burlesque is. That's what burlesque is. You
Yeah,
know, it's an amalgamation of
it
different
is.
forms of entertainment and ideas and music. I mean, that was the original burlesque. Burlesque was everything. It was political satire. It was parody. It was songs from the area that were all put together. Just one quick thing about burlesque. Burlesque is based on vaudeville. Vaudeville is voix de vie, French, meaning voice of the city. In the original days of vaudeville, they didn't have radio, obviously, and they didn't even have music, but people in different regions would sing different songs that would become popular within that town. And everybody would learn them and sing them, and they became popular. Well, someone had the idea of, what if we take all these songs from these different towns and put them together and create one show? Hello, it's all we do
Ah,
now.
That's
And they
what we do.
created one show, and it was called Voix de Vie, Voice of the
wow.
City, Voices of the Different Cities. That gave way to burlesque and parody and vaudeville and all of these things. So anyway, that's basically what I always argue back, and Todrick says too. We can kind of do anything here. We can create our own vernacular and our own language, and that was what he did with What Are Clothes. And it still lives in the show, and it's wonderful, and it's fun, and it's sexy, but the original idea for it was that it intersected with a scene and dialogue and became
Interesting.
musical. And you guys will hear it at some point because it's amazing.
And I
Yeah.
think that's something that, you know, a lot of people out there, when they say we're doing a burlesque show, then they only use like now they are using burlesque. They're using songs from the movie Burlesque. They might use Pussycat Doll songs, but because they're thinking like this is what burlesque is, or they might just use, you know, just sort of like maybe just bump and grind,
Bump
which
and
is like,
grind,
you
yeah.
know,
And which
music
is a big
that
part of it, which we
yeah,
love, but
like
it's
but
not the
like
only thing.
But for instance, like there was a band back in the day called the Squirrel Nut Zippers. They weren't
Yes.
doing it wasn't a burlesque song. It's just the way that it was with the trumpets, and you know,
Yeah.
even like Gwen Steffani did Bathwater. It was with when she used the trumpets and the sort of those sounds. She
Yeah.
wasn't saying I want to do a burlesque number, although she was in the show, and then I ended up working with her and choreographing that in her
Love Bathwater.
bathwater.
Love that video
Yeah,
so
and
much.
in the tour, Gwen was so supportive of me
Rob, that's a
for
really good
years.
reference, by the way, the horns and stuff in Bathwater, because if you really
Yeah,
listen to it, it does sound like burlesque music. Hey,
it
listen, I just want to say also, I just want to apologize. I know I've been so didactic and preachy and like giving all these lessons about
no,
burlesque, which can be really,
oh, it's
really boring.
great, but it's great.
But
A
I
lot of
think
people,
that
I love it.
that that it's interesting to some people, you know,
it is.
and I
It's a
always want
lesson.
people to I want people to understand what we all do, you know, that it isn't just one thing, that it's born out of all of these different wonderful types of entertainment, you know, and it's not just one thing,
No,
burlesque. And that's
we're
really
so,
cool and
Multiple
exciting.
things.
Oh,
and
Jess
that's
Falter is with us. Jess Falter's in the
yes.
house. Jess
Oh,
Falter.
just so
Jess Falter is
great.
in. It plays Daphne in Burlesque the
Yeah,
musical, and she kills it. And she's
amazing.
smoking hot, and she's a great dancer, and she's a great actress, and we love
And
her.
Hello and welcome.
yeah,
And
you saw Jess Coulter, obviously Jess Folley, who is one of the greatest singers of all time.
Ever? Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
she's with us. Is she with us?
Jess
I don't know if she's.
is Jess
Hey,
Folley
listen,
on?
you guys. Can I
Yeah,
say goodbye? I gotta go. I gotta go. I
okay,
gotta go
here's
back to
the
work.
thing.
you can
Look,
go.
can I
Okay.
just say something about Jess Foley? Every time I'm around Jess, because so Jess plays um,
Allie.
Ali, Christina Aguilera's character. Jess is one of the most amazing singers of all time. She's absolutely incredible. But every time she knows this, if I saw her right now on here, I would say, Jess, can you please sing for us?
She would.
Oh,
Every
oh
time I'm
my
with her, I make
gosh.
her sing, and she's like, no. And I'm like,
Jess
please,
Walter, if you're around Jess Folley right now, tell her to come on and sing.
Yeah,
please,
we want some
Jess,
singing.
please.
We
Oh my
had
gosh.
Stephen reciting lyrics, and now we're ready for the singing.
I mean,
Exactly. Okay, I'm
you're
gonna
getting it
go and I'm
all.
gonna let Robin. I'm gonna now shut up because I've talked so much. I'm sick of the sound of my own voice. Thank you for inviting me on. It was lovely to see you on this Instagram live. And I obviously I immediately recognize you because I've seen all of your posts. And
Yeah.
thank you for the thing. I think you left some things at the stage door for me, and
We
I
did
got
from World
those.
Burlesque Day,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was
Oh, that's
so
so
like
nice.
literally like I had them and then I left them back in the dressing room, then I went and got them and then they wound up in my hotel room and they're actually
It
wait,
was
I think they're here
crazy.
with me. No, I
It
think
was
they're here.
wild. It was a wild
Yeah.
experience, and
Oh,
yeah.
they're here. Oh no, I think they're upstairs. I think I moved them
Oh,
upstairs,
okay.
but I have them
I want
all.
to show you one quick thing.
She has the right background,
I
right?
I
know.
have the
She
right
knows what she's
background.
Right?
doing.
I want to send you this Burlesque
Oh,
bust.
oh my God!
Oh.
Ah,
I want
Okay,
to
that's
send
should
you this because this is a book I wrote, and I thought you'd quite like the strap, the title Burlesque bust.
I
Do you
love
think that's a
it.
bit
And
cheeky?
and send that to me. Should I give
so
you my
cheeky.
address right now on Instagram Live?
Yeah, give me your address right now on Instagram. I know
I
you're
don't know,
gonna send it in
Steve.
the DMs.
I cannot give you my address, but I can show you the view out the window.
Where's
It's really
Sugar?
pretty.
She's right here. Sugar,
Pretty,
come here.
right?
Somebody
Oh
wants to
my
see you.
gosh, Stephen, that is stunning. We have had like
Up,
miserable weather in
up,
London. It's been a
sugar,
very
up,
miserable
sugar,
winter,
Oh, it's been really,
wintry
really,
summer.
really.
up,
It's been
up.
gorgeous here. Hold on, I'm gonna take you outside for
Come
one
on.
second, and then I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna take you outside for a second, but
But I gotta
it
make us.
is
Come
it
on.
is
Up,
105 degrees
up,
outside right now. It is
and
so
it's
hot.
freezing.
Like
It
That
is.
is
it is
amazing.
It
it
is.
is it is
You
so
should
hot. There's the
come to
Hollywood
my
Hills.
studio. It's literally about. It's like an
Wait, can you
ice box in
see
here.
the
That's why I'm
hills?
wearing this gorgeous Gautier coat that you got me, Steve.
I did. I didn't even
Stephen,
mean to get
Stephen,
it for you.
Stephen
Robin
bought
bought
me
that
this
coat with my credit card and
because
then said, "Oh, you just bought it for me."
Oh
I'm,
Anyway,
I'm,
wow.
I'm a
it's
creative.
so hot. I'm not kidding. It is so hot here. It's 105 degrees right now. I feel like I'm melting.
It's
I gotta go
We
back
have
inside.
really,
it's
we have.
Ibiza weather.
Let me tell you, you have to have great air conditioning in dance studios because it gets. We have 100 dancers that come to our studio every day, and now
Wow.
in we have two, one here, one here. It gets so hot, it's insane. I mean, that's the that is will say and I will vow to be that I will dance until I'm not here anymore, which is not the plan. The plan is I'm here forever. And I'm going to dance every day and I love it. I love dancing so much. I'm so excited to see all of the people that are going to be logging on to this Zoom. I wish I could be there in person to be doing it in
When do
person,
they
but I'm going to
start dancing? When does the class start?
it's
Or the,
on it's October 22nd, correct?
It's the September 22nd,
Sorry,
and
September.
it's
Yeah.
11 a.m. LA time
oh
and
my
7
God,
p.m. UK and 8 p.m. Spain.
you have all the information. Okay, so I'm gonna sign off now. Again, it was lovely to see you, and
You
thank you
too.
for inviting me on. It was
Ashton,
so great to be here.
thank you to Ashton
And
for Ashton. To
and
Ashton said,
thanks, Ashton. Thank
she
you,
said
Thanks,
Ashton.
she's
And
helping.
Ashton.
you know what?
Yeah,
You can
Ashton.
if I don't know somehow you can get my contact information
No, you'll
through
get it. We'll get
Ashton.
it
And you
to you.
can send me the
Ashton
book,
will give it to
or
us.
you can
Yeah.
send it to Playground. You should send it to Playground.
Okay, I
Yeah, no,
will.
sure, we'll get it. We'll get it
Okay.
to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Um.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Love
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you,
Love you,
Steve.
Rob.
Love you.
Okay. See you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
So yeah, I was saying I can't wait to do my thing for all of the viewers and for everyone that has wanted to be. It's hard, when you live in other parts of the world to just like go, okay, we're gonna go take a class. I mean, I am gonna be doing more and more Zoom, more lives like Zoom, and try to get on as many people as possible because we don't have yet playground all around the world, but we will. Plan is to, I guess you could call it a franchise, but we are planning on having playgrounds all around the world where we offer every kind of class. And we do, you know, we don't have a class that's actually called burlesque, only because, again, it's such a fusion of so many different styles that are so sexy. I mean, if you watch girls like Marissa Hart, who's my dance partner, she's all over my Instagram with me. We dance together, and we do really, really sexy stuff, and, you know, our legs are everywhere, and it's wild, and it's so fun because she's one of the most amazing dancers I've ever known in my life. Alexis, she goes by Bolex, one of the most amazing dancers, and they're all, you know, these are young girls that have brought what I've done to another level, like literally to another level of dance. What I did was I brought sort of now what they do back down to a level where I can teach anyone that style, because I know how to teach a really beginner level. So I know how to explain. I mean, I do this thing on the floor. I'm not going to do it for you right now, but I've done it a million times on my Instagram. And if you watch me and you really follow me, you'll know where, and actually Alexis, Bolex, I love to give credit where credit is due. She created this move that we did on the Pussycat Dolls video React, where you go, and so sorry, Alexis, I stole it from you, but you know, I'm, it's okay. That's okay. So anyway, you go down onto your shoulder, right? And then you just kind of put your arm down, and then you lift your leg over your head like this. So now your booty is facing this way. And it's the hottest move ever. I'm going to do it on the Zoom. And I'm going to teach everyone how to do it. And you will not believe, I have taught mums that are like, you know, in their 60s and 70s, that they thought, I could never do that. But I want to learn. And and when I break it down and I really teach you, first you do it, you know, you go onto your forearm, then you go kind of down onto your shoulder. Then, you know, you don't have to bring your leg all the way up if you don't have that flexibility. You could just bring your leg over to the side. And I've watched every single 100 dancers in a room learn it. And it's so fun and inspiring for me, because that's what makes me keep going. Back to your question, your very first question on what keeps you going. Dance for me is because I love it, and I love doing all different styles. I love really learning how to be a really good hip hop dancer. I mean, I did not grow up. I grew up, you know, with street dancing, definitely, because that was my era back then. But I have taken that and I've put it into what hip hop is now. And it's not my 100% forte, but it's definitely something that, like, I really understand, and I do owe a lot of that to my partner Kenny, who's taught me kind of that a certain style. Dexter Carr, all of our great teachers that have really helped me become, you know, Samantha Cottle, that helped me be better and my best that I could possibly be with hip hop. Shane Bruce, you know, I take all of the I take everyone's class to be the best hip hop dancer, but hip hop helps me with my heels.
Wow.
Because when I'm doing my heels, you know, hip hop is so strong, and my heels is very strong. It's like, it's very tough. Oh, sorry, sugar. It's very, come here. It's very, sit. It's very strong, and it's tough, and it's hot, and it's sexy, and it's, you know what I mean? It's very like, it's very, it's not this sort of like, oh, lines and that type of thing. I love ballet, and I love all of that, but that's not the style that gives me that rush. You know, I'm a much stronger in my mind. That's the style that I like, is to mix, you know, a little bit of street, a little bit of hip hop, a little bit of that obviously all of that sassiness that turns into what I call burlesque for me. And that's what I think, you know, anyone from Nicole to Ashley to Kim to all of the Pussycat Dolls would tell you that, you know, sometimes it's hard to explain, like, what is the style that you do, and it's really just called the Pussycat Doll style.
Yeah.
It's really, you know, it's very much very different than anything that you've ever seen. And I think that we've inspired the world. I mean, there are so many amazing heels dancers like Giannis, Marshall, like all of the, I mean, there's the, I love everyone out there that has taken it to a level where they've created their own vision and their own world in their own way. And so, I know what I've created and I know what works for me. And I think that I have been able to, share that with the world in a way that people go, oh, okay, I want to learn that. And I know my goal is to make sure that every single person that I'm working with and that I'm teaching, and this is also has to do with like all the artists. I've worked with many artists, all of the celebrities that I've talked about and more, and I've taught all of them choreography where they never in a million years, Paris Hilton, she never thought in a million years that she could do what she's doing. And now, I'm one of her creative directors, and like, it's like, who knew? Who knew that she didn't grow up dancing? A lot of these artists did not grow up dancing, so they wouldn't, they wouldn't know how to do this. But I know how to teach them in a way that they come to me and they leave and they're like, oh my God, I feel so empowered. I feel so sexy. I feel so strong, strong in my own skin. And I also say, as far as being in shape, obviously dancing, and this style, dancing in heels, it really does give you the body and it gives you the legs and it gives you the booty and it gives you all of that. Dancing in heels is a lot harder than I think anything else. But the thing is that it's about also being happy with what you were born with, you know what I mean? And what you're meant to be and what kind of body you're meant to have. So it's not about like, I want to be skinny like that girl, or I want to be bigger like that girl. It's not about that. It's about, just being in the best shape that I think, being in shape is being healthy. And and dancing is what, is great because it makes you happy while you're doing it.
You don't feel like you're exercising, and that's what I think is
It
great.
doesn't. No. And when you're learning, sometimes it can get stressful, like, oh my God, I can't get that step. And like with me, I'll really break it down. I mean, I will really, really break it down to the point where I know, because there's a message behind every move that I do. And I call a lot of them, if you've seen, like sometimes like, like the swipe and the kitty cat crawl, the finger bite.
I love it.
all of the different ones, yeah. So we have fun. We just make it fun, and that's really what it is. It's so much fun. I'm so grateful to have dance in my life and to be able to share it with you and to share it with the Burlesque Festival. I'm beyond.
Thank you so much for accepting and just inspiring us all. I'm going to log off because I'm flying out to Ibiza tomorrow. So it's all happening. But anyone who wants to be part of this, Sunday, the 22nd of September.
Yeah. We're going to learn a little.
Sign up.
Kitty crawl.
All right, beautiful.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.